हेलो फ्रेंड्स, केजी क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम आपको रूपर्ट ब्रूक बाई 1887 टू 1915 के लॉन्ग आंसर के बारे में बताएंगे। क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट, गिव क्रिटिकल एस्टीमेट ऑफ पोएम द शोल्डर और राइट ए क्रिटिकल अप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द पोएम द शोल्डर। आंसर, नॉवेलिस्ट ऑफ ब्रूक्स पोएम। द हेडिंग है ये, द शोल्डर इज द ग्रेटेस्ट एंड मोस्ट फेमस ऑफ रूपर्ट ब्रूक्स poem. It is in the form of a sonnet which breathes a spirit of patriotism. The poet identifies himself completely with his country. Heading a robust patriotism. The sonnet presents a robust spirit of intense patriotism, free from all sentimentality. Its beautiful expression in English, shoulders patriotism. The soldier identifies himself completely with his country. If I should die, think only of this of me, that there is some corner of a foreign field that is far over England. The soldier expects to die for his country in a battlefield situated in a foreign country. The place where he is buried will always remain a part of England, because the precious sacred remain of an Englishman will be lying there. The English soldier is grateful to his country for having molded his own personality. Even after his death, when his soul is merged with God, his heart will keep on throbbing with the love of his country, and he will always be a source of inspiration to his countrymen. Thus, repaying his debt to England, he gratefully recognized the gift bestowed upon him by his country, happiness and peace of mind. The sincerity of the sentiment expressed in clear, gently moving. The poem is a source of eternal inspiration of all time. Heading as sonnet. The poem is a sonnet, a form which especially suited Brooks' genius. The intense sentiments in the poem is tersely and boldly phrased. The thought of death present in most of Brooks' sonnet is also shown. Her death is no terror in metaphysical mystery. It is a solid reality, especially because a sense of sacrifice for a cause like patriotism is present. The rhyme scheme of the sonnet is AB AB, CD CD, EFG, EFD. The rhyme scheme in the octave first 8 lines is Brooks on that of the sestet last 6 lines belongs to the Italian sonnet. Heading है bar propaganda. Brooks' sonnets are found very useful by the government for war propaganda. Country is the goddess whom he worships. England accepts every man to do his duty. Such a poem through state during peace time is a great inspiration in the time of war. Heading a mood of England in 1914. This poem shows England's mood during the World War First, 1914 to 1918. This was the mood of an average Englishman. They were fired by spirit of self-sacrifice for the honor of England. Such emotions affected the hearts of all Englishmen. Heading a narrow nationalism. It is narrow nationalism which believes that everything English is superior. The foreign land where his body is buried will always remain part of England. The appeal of the laughter learnt of friends and gentleness in hearts at peace is universal, but Brooks limits it to an English heaven. He is proud of being an Englishman, which means the greatness of nations. Next question है, write a short note on Rupert Brooke as a poet. Answer, Brooks' output is not outstanding, but his genius was greater. He is a poet of patriotism, a sort of narrow naturalism which teaches a patriot to die for the sake of his country in war times. Such poetry is the best propaganda for the government who call upon their citizens to lay down their liver for the sake of the country. But in peacetime, in the age of internationalism, such intense nationalism seems all out of fashion. AC Word says the marks of greatness in his poems are not numerous. What such marks are there? Brooke has a rich lyrical notes. His reputation rests on his lyrics, particularly sonnet. His bar sonnet give expression to the average Englishman's feeling during the World War First 1914 to 1918. Brooke presents expression to the fervent hopes of the people for the war in his sonnets, particularly The Soldier. It has been regarded as a masterpiece of patriotic fervor. Before writing poems on the war, Brooke was interested in expressing his disgust and dislike for the artifices of the 1819 group of writers. He quickly reacted against the vitiated hothouse atmosphere of the decadent and wallowed in gulliness. In order to demonstrate his distaste for poetry, he reveals ugly scenes marked with a note of blatant realism, describing the state of the two passengers in a train. Brooke opposites me two Germans, sweet and share. One of them bakes and spits and sleeps again. Brooks scoffed at the romantic view of heroes and heroines in Menelaus and Helen, and drew the attention of his readers to the beauties of nature and realities of life. In the old Vicarage, Grantchester, Brooke revealed his love for nature without any color of mysticism and metaphysical subtlety. In The Great Lover, he wrote wrote of the 101 things of ordinary day-to-day life, such as plates and cups, dust, bat, roofs, boots, smoke, which provided him interest and joy. When the war came in 1914, Brooke bailed in with enthusiasm. He wrote fine war sonnets exhibiting his enthusiasm and noble resolve to serve his country. He thought about war as a glorious adventure and welcomed the call to action with joy. Now God be thanked who had matched us with this hour and caught our youth and beacонed us from sleeping, with hand made sure, clear eyes and sharpened power to turn as swimmers into cleanness leaping. Glad from a world grown old and cold and weary. In another poem he wrote, honor has come back as a king to earth and paid his subjects with a royal wage. Nobleness walk in our ways again, and we have come into our heritage. Brooke was killed in action and St. George Day 1915, and in popular imagination he was canonized. It is natural, though profitable, to speculate as to what might have been Rupert Brooke's place in English poetry if he had lived on. The marks of greatness in his poems are few, but such marks there are. He witnessed the world with a clear eye and recorded what he saw with directness and clarity, yet However, poetic in himself, Rupert Brooke was more outstanding as the occasion of poetry in others, though the wartime revival of English poetry had its origin in Brooke alone. The first phase of war poetry, mostly in logizing war and harping on the note of patriotic sacrifice for the nation, passed away as soldiers who had been to the war returned to England to horrify people with their brutal war experience. In the poetry of the soldier, undertones of the ravages and horror of war in terrifying words. There are two factors which make for the permanence of his fame, namely originality and sanity. Both these qualities Rupert Brooke had in an abundant measure. The first thing which is to be noticed in the poetry of Rupert Brooke in his childish delight in nature and life. In his later poems there are hints of high seriousness and sustained thought. Rupert Brooke thought of life and death, of beauty and nature, of home and war. Never was a poet, writes Mary C. Sturgeon, more lavish in the giving of himself, yielding up a rich and complex individuality with engaging candor. And poems will be found in which all his qualities are blended in a soft and intricate harmony. Passion is subdued to tenderness, imagination stooped to fantasy, thought in so far as it is not content merely to shape the form of the work, bent is upon ideas that are wistful or sad or ironic, humor standing aloof and quietly chuckling will play mischievous pranks with people and things. Objective type question. Question: Brooke was born and answer 1887. Question: Brooke died and answer 1915. Question: Who was Brooke's father? Answer: schoolmaster. Question: At which age did Brooke pass away? Answer: 28. Question: The famous poem of Soldier appeared in? Answer: 1918. Which poem is not of Brooke? Answer: The Brick. When did Brooke return to England? Answer: 1914. The poem question है the poem Soldier is? Answer: a sonnet. Question: Which war affected Brooke? Answer: World War First. Question: Brooke reminds the death of? Answer: Keats. Thanks, best of luck.